Surprise. I'm live now on a Sunday. I've been enjoying my day out at a art show and went for a hike and out in my pond, enjoying the day. And I keep getting message after message, screenshot after screenshot about this weirdo magnet guy. And people telling me that Richard McAdams did a YouTube to defend this guy, and now they're even going to be setting up a website to try and get you to buy these stupid magnets. And I see the damage control they're trying to do now is they're trying to gain sympathy for the weirdo by saying that his wife died and making a murderer is what gave him life, and that people are twisting what he has sent to multiple women, saying, claiming Carol Davis, she must have a thing for him because she's hardcore trying to defend this dude. So maybe she thinks she's the only one that he whispers sweet nothings to. So they're trying to claim he was basically like catfished, that the topless photo he sent a chick is taken out of context, and the conversation was just how hot it was. And so he took a picture of himself without a shirt on to demonstrate that it's that hot. We have multiple messages from all these different women that this man has sent inappropriate things to. And I am really ashamed of you, Carol and Richard. Not that I put much faith in either one of you, because we've already seen time and time again who you really are. Defending a man who is making women uncomfortable, asking them for their personal information, and then asking very personal questions. He's a creep. I'm sorry. I first talked about Magnet Man because he's ripping you off. And they want to do nobody's making a profit. And we've already been through that. We go to their, way fancy schmancy fast food Vistaprint, and you'll see it does not cost $70. So I don't know what they're doing that it's charging them, that they're going to charge you $70 for. Ridiculous. Also, they're using copyrighted material. So if I were you, I would not be driving around with something that says Netflix making a murderer on it, unless you have permission from Netflix to have that on your vehicle. But also, it's just stupid anyway, because they only have 13 or 14 of them out there. And more than half of those aren't even in the United States. Sorry, people, but the state of Wisconsin doesn't care if somebody in Australia has a magnet on their car with Steven's face on it. That's just not the way the system works. And you in Australia are not bringing any kind of notice to his case. You're driving around with that magnet on the car brings notice to you that you're a weirdo. That's, I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. You look like a weirdo. This man has threatened me multiple times. We have posted the screenshots. Yes, they are stupid threats. Telling Carla he wants to punch me in the nose, saying if I get near him, he'll show me how crazy he can get. And then the other one was telling me this is my final warning. Those are all threats. I'm not scared in the slightest. I really couldn't care less. But some of these other women who have been sending us screenshots who are scared of this man, that would scare them. That's harassment. That's a threat. And for those people to keep defending this behavior, it really shows what they're all about. Again, money. Anything they do has to be money. They can't just say, hey, we've got this weirdo idea of putting a picture, making it a magnet and putting it on a car. How about everybody do that? No, they want to charge you $70 for something that the material costs $25 at most to do. And that if you were to place the order yourself, it would be $40. Why is it an extra $30? Then they're like, it's not a fundraiser and no money's going to Stephen. So why are you going to spend that kind of money on something and it's not helping Stephen? It's Netflix brings all the awareness Stephen needs about his case. Again, somebody driving around with that magnet in Australia on their car is not going to bring extra notice to this case that Netflix doesn't already do. You know, on Stephen Avery Project, we're not getting messages from people saying, oh my God, I just saw this magnet, this Justice Mobile, woo, woo, woo. No, we get messages, multiple messages every day saying they've watched Making a Murderer for the first time. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Nobody is spotting your dumb Justice Mobiles. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm sitting here talking about it. But they just won't let it die. You know, and so I'm getting all this stuff today of like Carol is trying to do the don't look here, don't look at Don. You should be looking at Scott Taddock. Then how come all your groups don't allow you to talk about Scott Taddock? How come you guys are all so happy to, we're together with Scott and Barb at a restaurant? So you're telling us not to look at this dude who is, we've got screenshots. There's tons of them, of what this dude is sending out to people, plus the threats to me. So this is happening. You are hiding him, and you hide Scott Taddock, a killer or a killer assistant, whatever Scott and Bobby did. But you protect them. You protect Barb. You protect all the family who let Stephen sit in that prison and rot, who didn't care about him until Making a Murderer came out so they could cash in. You protect them. So how dare you try and flip this on the victims? That these women are wrong in the messages they received from this weirdo. You guys want to continue working with that guy, that's all on you. We, again, here at MAM Gossip, will all continue to expose corruption wherever we find it. So somebody tripling the cost for magnets and then using that to get people's contact information to then flirt with them and send them topless photos. Come on. Let me scroll through your comments. Claire says, oh my God, they're defending him. Lisa says, so true. If people want to spread the word about the injustice of the case, then they need to share information on social media, etc. Marie says, go to police. I don't go to the, I've gone to the police in the past when that Boston Brett Condon told me I was going to be receiving something in my mail. And I didn't even, then too, I didn't care. But other people freaked out and wanted me to file a report. He's not going to do anything. And I dare you, come find me, dude. I'm easy to find, right? Ask Brett. Ask Carla. She's been to my house. Carla knows where I live. Come on down. Carrie, how many have they even sold? They've probably sold 10, if that. because he's given away a bunch for free. So I'm sure Carol and Richard, who are his biggest offenders, didn't pay for theirs. Hello, Jen. Jen says, the family kicked me out of their group and I did nothing wrong. Well, yeah, they're going to kick you out because they've got their spies in here who watch everything. Hi, Carla spies. And just for being in this group, they're going to kick you out. Well, we don't do that. The only time, because we've got spies in their group, and so the only time we'll kick you out of here is if we see you over there posting shit about us, and then it's bye-bye. I don't care what group you're in. I don't care if you're in a Guilter group. You just can't discuss Guilter stuff here. Be in a Guilter group. But then don't take this stuff to take it over to a Guilter group and make fun. Then we'll kick you out. Gwen says, wow, can't believe he's sending those pics. What a creep. Lisa says, it's better for all of those folks that Steven stays in jail, though. If he gets out, they can't keep making money off his name. Oh, I've said that. Because, yeah, once Steven is out, Carla is over. That's all done. Steven has said multiple times he wants Carla off the internet. He's told them all to get rid of their phones. So, but I figured I would jump on here because of, like I said, myself and all the moderators here are getting stuff all day long on this. I would really like to put it to rest, but they won't, because like I said, Richard McAdam made a video saying they're now making a website to sell these magnets on. But then he says on there, you can get them made wherever you want. Well, then what's the purpose of a website, Richard? That makes no sense. Why don't you just let somebody message you and say, hey, I'm interested. And then you message them back your fancy schmancy picture that you stole from Netflix for them to make themselves. So my issues are, again, one, you're ripping people off. Richard says, we're not ripping people off. Yeah, you are. Two, this guy is sexually harassing women and threatening me with violence. So this is who you want to be connected to. This is a good, outstanding person. You want to be on Steven's team, who is in prison for allegedly murdering a woman, and depending who you talk to, rape involved in there as well. So you want a dude who is sending topless photos and sending sexually, I don't even, yeah, okay. So inappropriate. He's being inappropriate with women. You would think you wouldn't want that kind of person around Steven. But then again, look at the Avery family. Can you even name one that doesn't have some kind of charge for being sexually harassing or assaulting someone? It's all public record. You can look it up, Wisconsin. They all have records. So Carol's doing the bait and switch. Don't look at my boy toy, what he's doing. Look at what Scott's doing. Yet you guys allow Scott to get away with it. You allow Bobby to get away with it. Let me scroll. Jen, I'm more on this one anyway. It's more real. Well, thank you, Jen. Julie says, let them buy from a print shop themselves. But the fact that the stalking and inappropriate pics and the trademark violations are being totally ignored. They all think it's only about making money issues. It's not. It's about a sick motherfucker. Tiffany says, what's actually going on with the case? Well, Steven's case was denied by Judge Flowers as Kathleen. Oh, somebody already answered. So I don't need to go through that. You can read where it says waiting for Judge Flowers to submit her stuff to this circuit, the Court of Appeals in 30 days. Then KZ has to file her stuff. It's a waiting game to get to Court of Appeals. So yeah, on Stephen's case, it's more just waiting. But here, let me go to the Ken Kratz thing that we just posted yesterday. And I also sent that to Kathleen Zellner yesterday, just in case, because just like I tell you all, you never know what she's seen. Let me scroll down and find it over here so we can discuss it. There. All right. So I don't do Twitter, but then people will send me screenshots of stuff when it's important that happened on Twitter. So there were people on Twitter that were talking with Sweaty Sweat Sweat. And so somebody named Rookie 1082. And then also somebody with the name AC. And Sweaty Sweat Sweat responded to them. And so the first one he said was, okay, Rookie, I've tried not to comment on this, but now I need you to, and now in all capitals, stop misquoting me. 3 exclamation points. I never said the state fucked up. When I told you I wouldn't have released the bones in 2011, that doesn't, in all capitals, mean the state fucked up. It wasn't my, all capitals, decision in 2011. Capital quote, Fallon, not me. So Sweaty Sweat Sweat's now trying to push this on to Thomas Fallon. And then the other tweet from Sweaty Sweat Sweat says, I can't believe I'm engaging with you, but somebody has to be the voice of reason. So here's the question, AC. After, all capitals, Avery lost all capitals, of his direct appeals, and then he's got in parentheses, and he had none left, how long should the state have waited before it returned the bones to the family? 3 question marks. 1 year, 2, 8, bunch of exclamation points. That right there is Kratz admitting that the stuff at the gravel pit is Teresa Halbach. Now, he said at the original trial that he wasn't going to talk about the bones that were at the gravel pit because they don't even know if they're human. So, and for his theory to fit, Stephen can't leave the salvage yard. Everything happened at the salvage yard. And the quarry is what's next to the salvage yard. Then is the gravel pit. So this is the farthest point away. So that's the big smoking gun for me. How long should the state have waited before it returned the bones to the family? Returning means it's theirs. Animal bones just sitting out in a gravel pit wasn't their bones. So you're not returning animal bones that they had out there. Those aren't theirs. But you're saying returned the bones to the family. So you're saying that's Teresa. And if that's Teresa, then Stephen is innocent according to his very own theory. Because he has to make sure Stephen never leaves that salvage yard. Everything happens at the salvage yard, right? And then when should they return it? Never, because it's evidence. And that's a law. You cannot return evidence. You cannot get rid of evidence as long as the person is incarcerated, unless you ask their and their lawyers' permission, which you didn't do. And you hid that ledger from Kathleen Zellner. When they turned over everything to Kathleen, when she took on the case, you did not give her that in 2011 those bones were signed out. Only found out about it when somebody FOIA'd it. So you just admitted it right there, Sweaty Sweat Sweat. That's Teresa. If that's Teresa, then Stephen is innocent. Period. Let me scroll. Oh, Julie says AC is rookie, not Andy Colburn. Okay, I didn't know they were the same people. Sorry. Yeah, I don't do Twitter. Julie says Kratz doesn't even know the damn statute Gon wrote. And Julie says, oh, I can't wait for KZ to rip people apart. And Teresa says, truth will always come out. Kratz can't even practice law. And then I was sent yesterday, I posted that too, the stupid letter that Kratz wrote. Let me see if I can find it. Didn't I post that yesterday? Okay. So this is a letter that Kratz sent January 4th, 2017 to Thomas Fallon, who is the one that is handling the case for the state. And it's subject mock argument. And so he says, Tom, first, I would like to attend the arguments in Chicago on 2/14. And that's, and he was there because I was there too. And I took a picture of him there, and his child bride got really upset about it. It's funny. And that's where the name Sweaty Sweat Sweat comes from, because I wrote an article from that hearing. I'll post it again for you guys. So I wrote an article about it, and I talked about how sweaty Kratz looked. And then child bride, they weren't married at that time, got all mad and tweeted about it saying, he's got medical condition, that's why he's sweaty. And so she's so bothered by him saying sweaty. So I'm going to keep saying it because I'm childish like that. All right, back to Kratz. Is there something I need to do to arrange seats? I'm quite certain Tom Fassbender wants to join me. Second, as the argument may be incredibly fact-specific, I'm asking that Fassbender and I be invited to observe/participate in the mock argument I'm sure you intend to do at DOJ. I have to believe that almost nobody knows more about these two cases at the moment, with me just completing my book. And we just want to make sure that any precaution is taken with whomever is doing the argument, that they know the blind spots in the case. Third, I have every expectation that the state will prevail at this federal court and the conviction for Dassey will be maintained. Assuming that occurs, is there any thought for what DOJ intends to do with Dassey? In other words, my belief is that some adjustment to his sentence may be reasonable after you win the appeal. If that is to be considered, I very much want to be part of that process. Obviously, I have no official input that I can give, but respect to me and the 10+ year process, recognizing that the outcome of these two cases will forever define my career, I at least want to be heard prior to a deal being cut. Thanks for your consideration. I assume you may wish to discuss these requests I have made with your boss, Brad Schimmel, and will make myself available at your convenience. Ken. Defines his career. No, what defines your career is that you preyed upon women, much like Magnet Guy. Those two should hang out. They've got similar MOs. So you preyed on victims who were abused. You basically raped them, Sweaty Sweat Sweat. That's rape. You force these women into having sex with you, or else you wouldn't help their case or their spouse's case. You blackmailed them into having sex with your sweaty, gross pig self. That's what defines you. Then framing two innocent men. One was a boy. Both have the IQ level of a child. You lied, fabricated evidence, destroyed evidence. That defines you. But you got a child bride out of the deal. So, let me scroll. Gwen says, hopefully Kratz will drop himself in it. Natalie says, they should have waited until they were sure and could evidence the bones were actually Teresa's and Stephen's appeals had all actually run out. I would say Kratz should stay off Twitter, but he'll slip up and say more stupid things, which may help Stephen and KZ. Well, yeah, and hi, Zoe. There's that stupid convicting a murderer thing that's never come out because nobody will buy it. Well, even the guy making that thing, when he interviewed Kratz, what was it he said in there? I can't remember, but it's on YouTube. And Kratz said stuff in there too that totally screws up his case. He's an idiot. Zoe says, oh boy, I have a bucket ready here. Hi, Sammy. Sharon says, I could never figure out how that state and all these people have gotten by with all this shit. It's all screwed up and Steve and Brendan are paying the price. I just hope and pray a higher court sees all this and lets them go and holds the state accountable for all these years of being locked up for lies from the state. Well, here's what you need to remember. 2020 is right around the corner. I know not everybody gets into politics and likes anything about politics. You need to care. You need to vote all the way down the ballot. You need to make sure people aren't getting elected as judges and state's attorneys and governors who aren't going to give a shit about wrongful convictions. We need them out of office. So be looking into your local politics. You can go to your local political party, whatever side of the fence you're on, and go talk to them about your candidates and what they stand for. Start knocking doors for those candidates that need to win. September is when petitions start before the primary to get people on the ballot. So get out there and get these people out. Zoe, can't believe it. All my favorite people are here. Whoop, whoop. Sharon says, Kratz, needs to be in jail, not Stephen Brendan. Well, and that's something, our system needs to be changed, that when you find evidence that sheriff's department, police department, lawyers, district attorneys, coroners, all these people are doctoring evidence, planning stuff, they need to go to prison and they need to go to Gen Pop. Don't protect them in there because now somebody's going to beat the crap out of them. No special treatment for them. Stick them in Gen Pop. Natalie says, somebody add the punchline. Ken Kratz and Magnet Pervy guy walk into a bar. Zoe says, Kratz is not even human. You cannot be human and be that evil. He and his daughter wife are like, damn, my English is way too bad to find words for them. I get it. His daughter wife is so, oh my God, what an unlikable, truly unlikable, nasty person she is. So, she fits right in with him. Sammy says, in what way do we have to hold them accountable? I don't think there's really anything we can do, Sammy. That's what sucks. They just get away with it, and what can you really do to Kress? He's lost his law license. He can't practice law. I don't even know what he's doing to make money. Or is it just his daughter or sister wife supporting them? Because I'm going to guess he really didn't make all that much money off of his stupid book. So he says he was there. He was on Kuss Road. He was the one who did the shit to the barrels. Oh, right. Yeah, you've got the barrels. One barrel disappeared and then reappeared. They're all part of it. So I just wanted to, I don't want to be on here real long. It's a Sunday and I want to enjoy my Sunday. But what I said at the beginning is I'm just getting all these messages on how these people are trying to defend Magnet Guy. And that is absolutely repulsive to me. But I shouldn't be surprised by it because these people are consistently on the wrong side and everything they do has to have money attached. Everything has money. I'm going to make a YouTube video that I want to monetize, which now I've been told that poor Richard, they won't let him monetize his YouTube stuff. So maybe that's why he's starting a website to push these magnets, because he can't get your money from YouTube. Money, 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 money. But I'm the thief. Sharon says, right, exactly. Put them in jail for contempt for lying. I thought the president could let him go. No, the president, because both Stephen and Brendan's case are state cases. So the president can't do anything for that. Only the governor can. So the governor can set them free. So, but then there's also things with that though, that depending on how you get out, you might not be able to recoup money for your wrongful conviction. So, Zoe, sweating, can you make money with sweating? Yeah. Janine, what's new? Just going over the latest with the people who say they love Stephen best, trying to make money and prey on women by using a picture of Stephen. So, I'm going to end this now. Maybe I should check this first. That just came in to see if this is something that just got sent to Stephen Avery Project that I should also include on here. Okay, no, nothing I need to share. So I'll end this now. There's a chance I may go live tomorrow night. But I don't know at this time. So, but I just wanted to put this up there and out there that we at Stephen Avery Project and MAM Gossip, we don't condone sexually harassing women and ripping them off for magnets that are in trademark infringement to do so. So, all right, yeah, because it's going on 4 o'clock here and I still want to enjoy the rest of my Sunday. And we'll talk again soon.